Is your cloud computing leadership a clown show? Many are, and it's getting worse when we look at the number of cloud failures. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Cloud Computing Insider. This channel explores the ins and outs of cloud computing without an agenda or following to the narrative set by big tech marketing. We look at what works, what does not, and the actual value of this technology in a balanced and information-forward way. If that interests you, please subscribe, like, and comment. I'm your host, David Linthicum, author, speaker, B-List Geek. Let's get started. If you're involved in cloud transformation and sense that your leadership isn't cut out for the job, you're not alone. This is a pivotal challenge many organizations face, and it can directly impact morale, productivity, and ultimately the bottom line. Let me share what happens when cloud leadership problems go unchecked. It starts small, missed deadlines, unexpected costs, failed migrations, but these issues quickly cascade into major problems. That expensive cloud investment meant to transform your business, without proper leadership, it's probably hemorrhaging money. Companies routinely triple their cloud spending with nothing to show except mounting technical debt and demoralized teams. Watch your office dynamics. The initial excitement about cloud has turned into frustration. Your best talent is leaving, seeing the writing on the wall. Those who stay are trapped in a constant firefighting rather than innovation. Each new project becomes harder as technical debt accumulates. Let's look at the data. There are varying statistics on cloud migration failure rates, and the definition of failure can differ across studies, making direct comparison challenging. However, here's an overview of what the data suggests. Around 1 in 3 cloud migrations fail to meet their intended objectives. One source indicates that 37% of cloud migrations do not achieve their goals because the cloud is not integrated into the core business strategy. More than half of cloud migration projects are more challenging than expected or outright fail. One study found that 62% of cloud migration projects are more difficult than anticipated or are a complete failure. A significant percentage of business leaders feel cloud transformation expectations are not being met. According to one source, 30% of business leaders believe that their cloud transformation expectations have not been met. Organizations see no improvement or changes for the worst after migrating to the cloud. 10% of organizations report that after cloud migrations, they experience no improvements or change for the worse. You can see the sources of this data in the description. Meanwhile, competitors surge ahead while you're struggling with the basics. They're launching new services and stealing your customers. The agility cloud promised, they're achieving it while you're still debugging basic issues. Operation suffers next. Systems become unreliable, customer satisfaction drops, and security vulnerabilities multiply. Each outage and performance issue erodes client trust. Poor governance increases compliance risk, while inadequate security leaves you exposed to breaches. Perhaps worst of all, innovation dies. Your organization becomes stuck in a reactive mode, unable to seize opportunities or respond to market changes. The creative energy that should drive your business forward is consumed by maintaining broken systems. In today's digital economy, poor cloud leadership doesn't just impact IT. It threatens your entire business survival. Every day of inaction puts you further behind, making recovery harder and more expensive. The solution exists, but only if you address these leadership issues now. The question isn't whether you can afford to fix these problems, it's whether you can afford not to fix these problems. In today's business landscape, successful cloud transformation isn't optional, and it all hinges on one critical factor: leadership. So how can you recognize you have a leadership problem in your cloud initiatives? Well, here's some unmistakable signs. Lack of vision. If your cloud leadership can't articulate a clear strategy behind generic phases like we need to be in the cloud, that's a big flag. A successful cloud journey demands a well-defined roadmap, understanding the business objectives, and the ability to foresee technological evolution. Ignoring expert input. When decisions are made without consulting a technical team, alarm bells should ring. A disconnect between leadership and engineers implementing the strategy signals a lack of understanding and collaboration. Flawed decision making. If leadership prioritizes relationships with vendors over the technical merits of the solution, or if decisions are driven by short-term wins rather than long-term sustainability, the foundation of your cloud strategy is shaky. Cost management. Watching your cloud costs skyrocket without clear rationale or strategy for optimization. This indicates a significant leadership oversight of the cloud financial management. High turnover. If you see your best talents fleeing due to frustration over ineffective leadership, the message is clear. It's time for a change. From my experience in cloud rescue operations, I've seen a concerning trend where cloud leadership problems are deeply connected to the consulting firms that enterprises depend on. These firms, often long-term partners, can find themselves in compromised situations, which ultimately hurts the success of the cloud project. A major issue is that many consulting firms have partnerships with cloud technology providers. These partnerships have access to valuable resources and knowledge, but they also create a conflict of interest. The consulting firms may be pushed to recommend a particular vendor's products, not because they are the best choice for the client's needs, but because the firm benefits financially from the recommendation. This can lead to less than ideal solutions, increased cost, and ultimately project failure, including grossly under-optimized cloud solutions. Another problem I often see is the bait and switch tactics. Senior partners with lots of experience sell big cloud transformation projects. However, once the contract is signed, these experienced leaders often disappear from the daily operations. Instead, enterprises find themselves working with junior consultants who don't have the deep technical expertise and business understanding needed for complex cloud transformations. While these younger professionals might be bright and eager, they often follow a strict method that often don't consider unique organizational challenges or long-term operational needs. This practice also makes more money for the consulting firm, as they can pay junior consultants at a lower rate while still charging high fees to generate higher margins. So, what can enterprises do to identify these problems and fight their adverse effects? I recommend demanding complete transparency about the consulting firm's partnerships and financial relationships with cloud technology providers. You need to understand how these relationships might influence their recommendations. Also ensure that experienced consultants are actively involved in your project, not just during the sales process. Ask for the right to interview and approve the consultants working on your project. Emphasize that the primary goal of the cloud computing project is to achieve specific business outcomes, not just adopt a particular technology. Hold the consulting firm accountable for delivering those outcomes. Additionally, invest in training your internal IT staff to develop deep cloud knowledge. This will reduce your reliance on external consultants and enable you to make more informed decisions. It's important to establish the proper cost management controls and optimize strategies from the start. This will help you identify and address any cost overruns early on. Consider seeking advice from independent cloud experts without financial ties to consulting firms or technology vendors. They can provide an unbiased assessment of your cloud strategy and implementation. If any of these signs resonate with you, either with outside consulting firms leading your cloud projects or internal leadership, don't lose hope. Here's how you can proactively address leadership incompetence. Document your observations. Start by keeping track of the issues you're seeing. Collect data on missed deadlines, spiraling costs, and team morale. This documentation will help you build a compelling case when discussing problems with leadership. Forge alliances. Connect with colleagues across departments, including finance and operations. Build a coalition of voices that share your concerns and are willing to advocate for the necessary changes. Together, you'll be more persuasive. Propose changes within a business case. Instead of just pointing out what's wrong, come armed with solutions. Create a presentation that outlines the issues and presents a clear, structured approach to address them. Highlight potential financial benefits and gains in productivity if these changes are implemented. Communicate upwards. Find opportunities to share your insights with higher management. Use your data to illustrate the impact of current leadership strategies and how implementing your suggestions could circumvent risk and drive success. Seek out mentors. If your direct leadership isn't receptive to change, consider finding a mentor within your organization or outside your organization who has navigated similar challenges. Their expertise can offer you guidance on how to effectively handle the situation. Know when it's time to move on. Ultimately, if you exhausted your efforts and change isn't forthcoming, it may be time to consider new opportunities. The cloud landscape is thriving, and there are organizations out there eager for your expertise and voice. In the world of cloud transformation, effective leadership is non-negotiable. Recognizing the warning signs early allows you to take action, whether it's attempting to steer your existing leadership toward better practices or finding a new environment where you can thrive. Whatever path you choose, remember that success in the cloud isn't just about technology. It's about having the right people in place to guide that technology toward transformative outcomes. Stay empowered and proactive. Don't hesitate to forge your own path forward. Remember, in the cloud world, the only constant is change. Make sure you're changing in the right direction. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Are you seeing similar frustrations in your organization? How are you handling them? Drop a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my other videos on this channel. Also, check out my InfoWorld Cloud Computing blog, my 100 plus LinkedIn learning courses, of course, my generative AI architecture course out on Go Cloud Careers, and finally, my latest book, An Insider's Guide to Cloud Computing. So until next week, stay very safe. See ya.